Hello Namibia, hello Africa. I am Soraya Mentor and welcome to Africa Beyond Borders. We get to chat to amazing Africans who've traveled beyond their home countries. It is all about culture and how we carry our culture everywhere we go. Today's guest is Senga Brockerhoff. I practice so much to say that. Hi Senga, how are you?
Hi Soraya, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to talk to you. Senga is a professional filmmaker and theater producer and director. That is a title that I aspire to be one day. It's just amazing to see your work. Firstly, where did that passion come from?
Well, it started in school, so my background is essentially in theater. I'm a theater kid, as they say. So I started very young. One day we saw a notice and I found myself at the Rehoboth School of Arts, where I met Saverius Majid, who you of course know is also one of Namibia's theatre legends. And from there, passion just grew from strength to strength. And even after school, coming back, I just found myself falling back into theatre over and over again. And eventually, since about 2016 or so, I branched into acting in film, and then eventually writing and directing and producing in film.
Absolutely amazing. I want to take it a step back and just find out a bit more about your background, like where you grew up, what culture, ethnicity you're from.
So I was born and raised in Rehoboth, so I'm a bastard gal.
Rehoboth.
Born and raised, went to high school in Rehoboth, and then I went off to Stellenbosch to study accounting, which was not quite in line with where we are today. I always say I took the long way round. And then I came back from Stellenbosch and started sort of working freelance here and there, not really going into the accounting thing, and ended up working at what was then Playhouse Theatre, and from there the National Theatre of Namibia, before eventually going freelance in 2018.
Oh my gosh, how's the journey of being a freelancer in Namibia been like so far?
It's hard. I would not recommend.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 do not recommend, only because it's so hard to consistently generate your own work, to Zula, to sponsors, as they say, and to just consistently also be honing your craft, trying to level up, learn new skills to add to the CV, to get better jobs, to earn more money, that kind of thing. So it's very hard in that sense. But I feel if you're driven and creative enough, the reward is in being able to choose your work and to just have a creative, fun time in life.
I'm noting that down. I wish I had a notebook right now because I'm sitting with Senga. I would love to tap into your theatre journey now around the world, how that entire process was. And Senga has traveled to so many countries. In my mind, I'm trying to list them all right now. But I'd love to tap into firstly, like Finland. That's the one that stood out for me the most. But
that was a big one. I'm glad you brought up that one. That's also my big favorite one.
That one stood out the most to me.
Because I think that was the first time that I'd flown on a plane, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
A whole experience.
So, a whole experience. And I always like to joke and say, well, you know how some people say theatre won't get you anywhere, but, you know, what happened was, we won the theatre awards that year, Saverius and I, for the play Poppy Engelbrecht. Oh, thank you, but that was 2002, like
it doesn't matter.
Decades ago. And part of that was that we got to attend the Tampere Theatre Festival in Finland.
Wow.
And so that was the trip, and we went to the festival. We met some collaborators in theatre, and most of all we attended the festival where we just got to see amazing productions every day. It was an amazing experience for such a young girl at the time. I think I was 19 at the time.
Oh jeez. So just walk us through, like if a Namibian's watching this right now and also wants to go out to other festivals, like what was that process like, just preparing the paperwork? How did you find out, okay, we're going to Finland? What's that like?
I'm not entirely sure on the paperwork thing. I think at that time it was done through NTN, but I would definitely suggest that obviously you have to have a look on the internet, find festivals to apply to. And then a good way to go about it is maybe to check in with embassies to see if they would support your project. And also if you apply to festivals and your project is is accepted, chances are they might pay for your accommodation and travel. And it's always nice, especially for us earning Namibian dollars, it's nice if somebody helps you out in US dollars or euros. And then if you get accepted to a festival, that little paper will also help you to get the visa applications done, because I think in recent years, and with all the madness in the world, visa applications have gotten a bit trickier now. People are a lot more strict about who they're letting into their countries. So to avoid disappointment, always make sure that you find out the visa requirements and do that well in advance.
Wow. Great tip, great tip. I would like to know, going to the festivals now as a 19-year-old, what was the first culture shock that you had, be it in theatre or just even in the way people recycle there?
So for me, it was an interesting experience in the sense that how we are in our African context so very used to that we don't normally see homeless white people or white people doing the kind of sort of cleaning jobs, garbage men jobs type of thing.
Yes.
So I think for me what stood out about my trip to Finland was for the first time seeing poor white people, which I mean is not a thing because everybody can struggle, but I think just from a cultural context, it was a strange uptake to my brain.
Just to see.
But I think it also kind of cemented that idea that wherever you go, people are just people, whatever race, whatever skin tone, people are just people. So that was interesting.
Oh, that is just so beautiful to hear. I would love to tap into more the entire journey of Europe. How has that journey changed the way that you do your art now today?
I definitely saw amazing theatre in the Finland Festival, but even beyond that, I've had the opportunity to perform at the Grahamstown Arts Festival. That was a few years then after the Finland trip, and that was incredible. And I've also then had the opportunity to travel for a conference to Beijing in 2017.
See what I
which was all about theatre management. And then in 2023, I also managed to secure a residency with the Alabama School of Fine Arts. And having said all that, what I really love about these engagements and in these trips is you kind of feel united with a global theatre community, because I mean we're here in our little country doing our little theatre with no money, struggle, and you go somewhere else and meet up with, say, other groups in Grahamstown, for example, and you notice their struggles, and so it's kind of it keeps you going. It's inspiring to go like, I'm not alone, everybody else is out there still trying to create. And also on bigger platforms like the Tampere Theatre Festival, you get to see amazing, innovative work. So it really makes you think, what am I creating? How am I creating? So you come back with Vuma again, ready
to feel your country as well.
So I think those trips are important.
Yes.
For inspiration.
I absolutely love the idea that you brought Grahamstown, because I actually went to one of the festivals recently and I think it was absolutely amazing. I just want to hear your experience about it now that you were much older then. How was it like just traveling to there and settling in?
So I wasn't much, I think, if I can now, the years are stacking up now if I'm trying to remember. I think it might have been, so maybe I was like 23 only, so not much, but it was also an amazing experience to just meet all of the theatre practitioners and especially students from not just Grahamstown, but from drama departments all around South Africa and Africa. And it was an interesting experience because, when you're sort of unknown and oftentimes you'll be there in the middle of the day at like 2 o'clock performing your little piece to like 7 people sometimes. So that kind of, I think it grows you in the sense of you got to buckle up and be thick-skinned if you want to do this thing because it's hard. So those festivals really teach you about how competitive this thing actually is that we're in.
Absolutely love that. I want to know more about Beijing now.
Yeah, that was another one that also stood out. So it was a conference on theatre management, and it was for countries in Africa, hosted by this educational association in Beijing.
Wow.
So that was me from Namibia. There was, I think, from Zimbabwe, from Mauritius, from
Yes.
Kenya. So it was just sort of talks and little workshops and watching performances. It was absolutely amazing. I think what they're doing there, and in terms of the sort of opera and the scale of the theaters and the work they
Wow.
produce,
Yeah.
is really awe-inspiring.
Was there someone you met specifically in Beijing with so many countries coming together? Was there someone who struck a chord in you on just the experience they gave you?
I think they were, it's hard, but it was also many years ago, so I'm not really remembering names now, but it was a really good mix of people, and everybody was sort of very jovial and very fun and outgoing.
Yes.
So, and I think what was important and what I learned in that trip is that often as Namibians we are very quick to complain about what the Arts Council is not doing and what the Film Commission is not, the government bodies that are supposed to support
Yes.
our arts. But then I discovered when I went there is that we take it for granted, because some of these countries do not even have a National Arts Council that puts out annual grants and funds productions and supports artists. Some of these countries don't even have that, and here we are out here complaining about the little that we do get. So that again taught me gratitude.
That makes me so happy.
Yes.
That makes me so happy for our country. Absolutely amazing.
Gratitude is where we should be at.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that. I wanted to just, before we go on a break, hear your first experience going to Beijing now. Just, was there any culture shock experiences, like funny foods you tried?
Absolutely.
What was it like sitting in traffic?
China is a mind trip, I tell you. It is just... First of all, I think I get overstimulated easily by lots of sounds and sights and smells. It was very loud and very smelly. So it's all of your senses are overstimulated. But then what is also impressive is that just sort of people's willingness to work hard and people's ingenuity and innovation. Because I tell you, wherever there's a 1 meter by 1 meter space, there's somebody selling something from a frying pan, Wherever there's a 1 by 2 little space, somebody's selling something. Wow. You could be in a bus in this heavy traffic going past, and you'll see a guy in his little flatbed truck with a bicycle with cabbages stacked up high, and he's on his way to go sell his cabbages,
Regular
so I
Tuesday.
think maybe as a nation, as us Namibians, maybe we could learn a little something from them, just in the sense of working hard every day to make a buck. That was amazing to see. And and then, of course, their long theatre history, where they would have these little dioramas of exact miniature replicas of the sets of these operas that they have created. So it's like this little, and it's the amazing detail.
Cool.
So I really loved visiting some theaters and seeing some opera theaters.
Wait, so you could just walk by and see like the different productions?
It's actually in a little museum where they would have little write-up of
that's beautiful.
What opera it was, and then they would have this little set, and they would even have the costume in a little glass box.
Yes.
So it was a little theater history lesson.
I'm so excited to tap into the theatre world around the world, literally, with you. Just before we continue, we're going to take a quick break, viewers. I can't wait, but I know you guys can wait for just a few seconds. See you guys soon.
My name is Treasure Photography. I am doing photography in Katima Mulilo. And today we are in the festival, Zambezi Festival. Everything is going well, and we are happy to see a lot of people coming from different places, including myself. I'm coming from DRC, and we are happy to see other people from Botswana, Zimbabwe, and South Africa just to participate on the festival. That is a good thing that we realize in this festival. My favorite pictures to take, especially the portrait, the portrait and the one that's, you know, when you are wearing a culture, the clothes, the dress for culture, those pictures are coming nice as the way you can see. Yeah, we are doing the best. The nice part here, I think people are enjoying. People are enjoying fish. There's a different of kind of fish here. They are doing braai and whenever the way you want it to eat that fish, they will make it for you. Apart from fish, we have river front. You can see the view of the river. It looks nice. That is closer to Zambia, Sesheke. I think that is the good part of this festival here because it's near to the river. Yes.
Hello Namibia and welcome back to Africa Beyond Borders. I'm your host, Soraya Mentor. Still with me is Senga Brockerhoff, who's a theatre film director and producer. Hi Senga. I mean, we've already spoken, but we were just trying to get into now more of your journey around the world, especially as a theatre and film producer and director. Speaking about Alabama, this was in 2023, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
That entire journey, what was it like? And what did you go to Alabama for?
Oh, that one is very dear to my heart. So I had been cultivating this really great partnership with the Alabama School of Fine Arts for quite a number of years. And in 2023, early in the year, they came over and brought a group of kids. And we did a few collaborative projects here in Windhoek. And then at the end of the year, they invited me and said invited me for a residency, essentially.
Yes.
So what that entailed was that I went and spent time at their school, Alabama School of Fine Arts. Amazing art school, performance arts, visual arts. And so spent some time at the school, and then I also got to create pieces with the kids. So it was very, very quick, very short residency. I essentially had about 3-4 days. And together with 2 different groups of kids, I got to create these pieces with them. So I also got to work with them and create, which is always a joy, that if you could just sort of write something and bring it to life with these incredible kids. So that was a very heartwarming and fulfilling experience for me. And I'd be very happy to return back there again, to see these kids. And anyway, and so they also came back this year again. We did a beautiful collaboration with them again. So here's hoping that it will be a very long and fruitful friendship.
I wanted to hear, well, I know that theatre has its own culture. So going to Alabama, was there a way that the school was run that was just different for you that you had to adjust to?
So it's not so much like the adjustment to it, it's just the fact that they even have this at all.
Oh, wow.
Because we don't have, in Namibia, we don't have a sort of art school like that already teaches kids in their high school years from about the age of 13, 14 to actually be studying arts full-time, whether it's visual arts like photography or sculpting, whatever, or performance art. The fact that these kids are so lucky that they even have that to begin with. I would have loved to drop out of mainstream school at 15 and attend an art school. So I think that's the one thing that they really have one up on us, is that they are able to nurture this talent at a very young age. Also because it's a real proper art school where the kids audition to be able to attend the school. They attend school full-time. They even have what sort of reses, like hostels, where kids who are outside of out of Alabama or Birmingham, Alabama, they can come and stay there. So that made me kind of go like, ooh, now I need to find the money to open my own art school somehow. Because I do think it's important that not all of us are sort of geared for academic learning. And the way currently that the academic system is set up, we all have to go to school and learn the maths and the geographies and the things, and maybe some of our brains are not geared like that. Or maybe if you can start doing art at a young age. So that was, and so it, for me, the comparison just to where, how they would take art really seriously. I also judged the regional theater competition, school competition in Alabama, and there you could see it was like thousands of kids from all art schools from around the southern part of the US coming together in this like 2-day competition. And there you realize, but they are serious about this thing, you know? So yeah, so maybe someday we'll also get there.
I mean, with you in this country, I don't see us not ever not succeeding.
We can always hope.
I wanted to hear more about your experiences in Alabama. Was there ever, as a Namibian, do you remember a fun interaction that you had with someone where you taught them something from Namibia?
Well, I really enjoyed spending time with the kids because we spent a long time really just talking about theater as a whole. But then coming back to the pieces that I created with them, because my thought about the pieces was that I didn't really want to just create something this side and then bring it there and then direct those kids without any context for who they are and what they're experiencing.
Yeah.
And so I had been wondering about, we've all been talking about COVID and how it affected us as the adults and the elderly who have the comorbidities and all of that, how everybody else was experiencing COVID. But nobody stopped and asked, are the kids all right? How did the kids experience COVID and what were they thinking and feeling towards or during all of this? And so that's what the pieces came from. And so for me, it was interesting then to have this sort of cross-cultural conversation about, even though we are from different parts of the world, there was something so similar to how we were experiencing, experiencing COVID, and then also a kind of uniqueness to how each of the different individual kids experienced it from the next kid next to them who's their classmate.
Yeah.
You know, so just that kind of difference in people and difference in experience was interesting to talk through, and from that background create the pieces. So that was a good cultural exchange.
Wow. Absolutely beautiful to hear. I'm very interested to find out when the Alabama kids came to Namibia, and it was just a clash of cultures together. Not rather a clash, but a merge.
Melting pot, I like to say.
What was that experience like, and seeing it?
So what we did with their visit, I always like to do fun and interesting, challenging things. I also always like to kind of throw people in a little bit in the deep end, but also in a sense where they can challenge their preconceived ideas and maybe share new ideas with each other. So what we created was a program called Flash Fry, where they essentially only had 2 or 3 days, 2 days, to create theater pieces together, meaning 15 kids from Alabama and 15 kids from Namibia. They were put into groups, and together they had to brainstorm these pieces.
So cool.
So the idea was that they had to talk to each other, find common ground, find differences, create the drama, create the comedy, or whatever is required of this piece, and then stage this piece. Excuse me. And I think it worked beautifully because after the 2 days, there was friendships made. You could see from the pieces on stage that a lot of ideas had been exchanged. So overall, I would say that was a smashing success.
It sounds like a smashing success itself. As a traveler and to the fellow Namibians watching, what's a tip you'd like to give them, just general for traveling, to what you've learned?
So I always find that, you know, it's so easy in your normal life to just settle into a comfort zone of who you are, what you like, what you don't like. You know how we are like, oh no, I don't like to eat these things.
Yeah.
I don't like to this thing and that thing. But I also found we once did a very cheap trip through Europe, and for me, I thought that you should never let your comfort zone rob you of a great experience. Meaning to say that you shouldn't be, oh, I don't want to try that thing. Maybe it's weird, it's new, it challenges your brain and how it tastes or whatever, but maybe it's interesting and you like it and you've learned to eat something new. Or even just, and if you travel, maybe within safety, within reasonable safety, not always try to do so much the touristy hotspots, but find out where the locals have a good time and where the locals eat. You know, if you see a restaurant that's bustling with locals, then you know the food is good there, and that's where you should eat. And that's also where you will meet the most interesting people.
Oh, absolutely love that. I don't want to let you go, but I just, now that you mentioned, like, go try the locals, do you have, like, the one experience that you remember was absolutely fun?
Oh, I'm thinking. I don't, in terms of theatre, I've already said which ones were close to my heart, but then I also, like I said, spent a little time doing this short little trip, Europe trip. And I'm glad we did it then because tourism has changed countries, but I got to see Venice before all of the pollution and before all of that. And that was my favorite city out of a few European cities. Like, I'd seen Paris and Barcelona, but Venice just really had. And so what we did when we arrived there is that we rented these bicycles, and we just sort of cycled all around this island. And
that is so cool.
Eating figs off a tree, and it was kind of sort of that movie idea of
that is a movie.
Island. And I was terrible. I fell off the bicycle at some point because I can't even ride the bicycle.
With your grief.
But it was just this romantic idea of bicycling around an island and eating figs. So that was a very special memory.
Sounds so cool. Now I want to go to Venice and eat figs.
You
and
have
ride bicycles.
to before it sinks because global warming is not going well.
Yes, that's a good note. That's a good note for travelers. Senga, I absolutely had so much fun sitting here with you today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for chatting to me. So have a very good weekend.
Oh, thank you so much. To all our viewers watching, thank you for joining us on this episode. You can catch us every Monday at 8:30 p.m. on DSTV channel 285, GoTV channel 25, and OneUpTo.com. See you guys next week.